Hello, it is Friday, February 19th, 2021. I have not streamed in a while. Well, it's been a couple days, mainly because I am in Texas and our power has been. We're not supposed to use that much power. It has also been absolutely freezing cold, and finding a store with food in it has been a bit of a challenge. But don't worry, I am fine. I have power, I have water, I have all sorts of things. Or I have all the normal things that I need. And it is supposed to be getting warmer here, so yeah, in good hands, or in a good state of things. So yeah, today we are going to be starting yet another new Unity project, but this one has a sort of an end date to it, because this is actually for a game jam. I've been wanting to do some streaming for game jams for a while. I just haven't. Yeah, there just really haven't been any going on that I wanted to join. I missed the Brackies game jam, I believe. Had I known about that one a little bit earlier, I probably would have joined it. But let me fix the camera because 5 seconds ago it was not doing this, now it is doing this, and it's really annoying me. Adjust this thing before the stream, and then it decides to not work. So there we go. Okay, camera should be fixed for probably the next 5 minutes. Actually, let me just put the shades. There we go. There we go. That should fix it for quite a while. Probably 2 hours or so until it gets dark. But yeah. Oh, no, I'm half invisible. It's fine. It'll... No, it's not fine. Oh, I need to figure out this camera. I really do. Alright. That should be good for a while, until the light starts to change again. But yeah, we are starting a new game for the, I think it's Games Plus Game Jam? Well, let me see if I can look at it here. Yeah, it's this one, the Games Plus Jam, 2021. So we're going to be working on that a little bit. I have already done a little bit of work off camera, no scripting or anything, just some like basic art assets to get us started because I don't want to just be using placeholders all the time. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I think the theme is You're the Best. I believe that's the theme. Let me double check that. Yeah, You're the Best. I know. I already knew that, but they had to tell us, just to be sure, so that everyone else knows. Anyway, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be remaking, well, not remaking, but sort of making a game similar to a game that I made for a game jam a while ago. It was a sort of top-down game where you controlled like a little jet. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. You're going to be controlling a little jet, you're going to fly around, you're going to shoot other little jets, and you're going to have a special sort of, like your primary weapon is going to be a machine gun that fires, straight out in front of you, and then you're going to have a right click that gives you like a missile attack. So we will be working on that, and I will figure out how it fits into the theme a little bit later. I have some ideas, but I have to think about it. I think I know what I'm going to do, though. Anyway, the first thing I want to do is actually get the player controller stuff set up. So yeah, I've gone ahead and just started basically a new Unity sort of thing. We're going to be making this is going to be sort of top-down, but I'm going to try to blend the 3D and 2D systems together and just see what they do. I haven't tried something like this. I think it works, though. Based on what I know about 3D rendering, it should work. So we'll say that that's 10, and then on the x-axis we want to rotate this 90 so it's facing down. And then I want to create, I believe it's a quad that I want to create, a 3D object, a quad, yes, all right, 0, 0, 0, and then going to create a parent for that. This will be the parent, and then this will be the actual model. Yeah, model, and this will be the player. The player, yes. I mean, really, it's going to be, actually, we're going to call this a jet. Yeah, just be a little jet. And then the way that we're going to do this is we're going to rotate this minus 90 so that the normal is facing up. Whoa, actually, maybe that's not right. Does that really need to be 90? Oh, it does. Okay, well, I was wrong about that. All right, and so we have this plane graphic here. This is based on like a real jet. And then this carrier, this is the aircraft carrier. You're going to be launching from an aircraft carrier in each mission. But anyway, the first thing we're going to do is put this jet down here. I don't know what it's trying to do. Actually, let's just drop it in and see what it does. Does it create... What did I put this on? Oh, it's just a sprite renderer. Oh, I forgot you could do that. You could just render sprites, right. I forgot that's a thing you can do. I'm a genius. Does that appear? Yeah, that just appears that way. Okay. I thought it had to be on... What happens if we rotate it, actually? Does it actually get the rotation? Yeah, it does. Okay. I was going to try to mimic that effect, but I guess that's fine. That'll just work. Alright. And this needs to be... So I don't want this to be so big. This is 854 by 1024, so we'll just make the pixels per unit to be 1024. And if we apply that, it'll make this a size of 1. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And that's kind of what we want. So we want it to be a size of 1. Don't want the camera to be that far away, though. I guess it should be at 5. Yeah. That should be fine. And so I also have this water sort of texture. I don't know how well this is going to look like water, but we're going to put it down anyway and just hope that it does. I mean, I'll remake a lot of this stuff later, but obviously this needs to be colored blue to actually look a little bit close to the water, but, you know, yeah, it could pass, I think. Yeah, I think that could pass for water. So this is, I believe, 2048 by 2048, so actually I want this to be a pixel size, or a pixels per unit of 1024. That way it'll have a size of 2, which is perfect, and then I think we will increase this until it fills the camera. Hey, how's it going? Hey Clink, how's it going? I am just attempting to make a game for a game jam and actually finish a project for once. But, you know, things are what they are. My goal is to be done with this in a couple days, not to not drag it out forever. Let's make this 4.5. Sure, okay. I don't have to attach this to the camera, but wait, what's the distance on that? Oh, I don't want that at 0. I want that at minus. No, I want you to fly at level 1. That's what I want. Yeah, that makes that larger, which I'm not a huge fan of. Let's make the model a bit smaller. I don't have knowledge about Unity. Oh, do you have any knowledge of any game development engine? But I know a plugin. It's a plugin. It's called... Oh, Playmaker. Okay. Yeah, Playmaker is like a visual scripting tool for Unity. It's pretty good. Not as good as... I think it makes... So, yeah, it does. It makes programming a lot easier than actually writing code. Yeah, it's too big. Yeah. No, I don't like that, but I'll fix it later. Okay, so what I want to do... fronted. So you work on like websites and stuff. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't make stuff look good. I can make it work, but I cannot make it look good at all. I've tried, but I just can't. Do you use like JavaScript and TypeScript? I don't know if that yes was to JavaScript and TypeScript. It seems a bit too close. By close, I mean like it seems like it hasn't had an... I don't know what the delay is on the stream, so... Oh, God. Yeah, JavaScript, okay. Yeah, JavaScript's a pretty cool language. It's one of the few languages that's like truly object-oriented. Okay, oh, now I'm gonna start learning React. Yeah, React is a good, wait, React is a framework for JavaScript, right? React.js, I think. So this is the player controller. Yeah, it's used for front end and develop. Yeah, so it can develop. Like I think most web apps, or I think most languages can be converted to like progressive web apps now. So you could actually, I think you can basically ship anything as a website. Like even like an Angular app, I think can be converted to a progressive web app. I've used Angular and stuff like that, but I've never. Do you mean like do I have by do you work, do you mean do I have like a professional job in software development? So we need is a public float speed equals 1.0f. Yeah, full-time job. I used to have one. I left so that I could focus on the streaming sort of stuff. What I used to do is we basically had like a government website that we used to manage, and I used to write the software like tests for it. I used to help develop the framework as well. So we used to use stuff like TestNG and you know, stuff like that. But it was a website like imagine like I'm trying to think like imagine like filing your taxes or something. It was that kind of website. So like normal testing practices don't work that well in that case, just because the website had, you know, hundreds. I think it had 400 or 500 pages at least on it. It was a massive website, but that's what I used to do. And I had to write the framework for that, and you know, help a bunch of people write tests. So that was a lot of fun, and we used Java for that. So I have a passing familiarity with JavaScript because I had to know a little bit about Angular. Hey, how's it going, Sky? What is that? Scrum DK? How's it going? Okay. But yeah, that's what I used to do. And I'm so glad to be using C# now because C# is just the better version of Java. It really is. Okay, so what was I doing? Yes, player controller. Okay. The way that I want to move this is I think I want to have a target sort of object and then adjust the location of that target every once in a while, or whenever the player inputs something. Yeah, I have a little hard to get into a job. Yeah, the thing with programming jobs especially is that they like on a resume they ask for so much stuff that they don't need, and it's mostly because the people writing the like job description don't know that much about programming. Yeah, that's a good idea. I would recommend learning something like Java because just so many people have familiarity with Java. And Java is actually Java like is a pretty easy language to learn, like relatively speaking. It's not that complicated. Like the skill cap on Java is very low because you just like the syntax for Java is just so simple, and you don't need like it can't do that much. Like it doesn't have that many language features, so it's much easier to learn than probably easier to learn than JavaScript actually. Yeah, the inheritance is done in like a simpler way, whereas in JavaScript it's done like with prototype stuff, which is a little bit more complicated but more powerful. But yeah, that would be my recommendation is learn Java because I think Java will get you pretty far. Like a lot of people either understand Java or they like Java, or I guess most people understand Java at the very least. Yeah, what was I doing? Yes, okay. So to actually handle the input here, so let's create a protected void handle input. Yeah, I mean C# is like a very complicated version of Java. It's far more powerful and, in my opinion, far better, but it is more complicated and things make a little bit less sense, especially if you don't know like the foundations of programming. Java, and they don't. I have some friends, they told me about Java and they don't love and like Java. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where like most people know Java, and like you can, if you write something in Java, almost everybody can read it, but there are some problems with it. It has, I don't know. I would, it's hard to, it's really hard. I guess it's really hard to have a general opinion about it. Oh, they hate it. Yeah. Once you get good with it, you hate it because you see how weak it is, and you like C# a lot better. But like early on, it's very easy. It's very easy to learn to get into programming. What do they prefer to Java, by the way? I just want to know. Because usually people prefer either Scala or Python. Not interested after React. I hope to start Node.js for backend. Okay. Yeah, Node.js runs as a backend. That's true. You can do backend stuff with Node.js. And there is like a benefit to having your entire like tech stack written in the same language. I don't know how JavaScript deals with database interactions though. I wonder how that would even work. Oh, I'd be scared of that. That would terrify me. Database code written in JavaScript would just terrify me. Wouldn't want to think about it. What was I doing? It's going to move towards. It's going to have a target. Going to move towards the target. How would that actually? Maybe you'd face the target. It would be move that way. Oh God, I'm trying to think now. Right. Let's just do a basic controller. So var I have a cousin. He's a database developer. Okay. Yeah, I mean Java is usually, from what I've seen, Java's used a lot in database interactions. I mean, you could use C++ for that. Yeah, I guess most people probably prefer C++ to it. It just depends. I would say the big argument for using Java is that that a lot of people know it, and it's very hard to write. Java actually like actively makes it hard to write bad code. It makes it hard to write like super complicated stuff that people don't know. It's developer in Java and Python. Yeah. Python is used very heavily for like DevOps. So if he does like DevOps kind of stuff, that's probably what the Python is for. Python's also used a lot in machine learning just because it doesn't require a lot of special libraries for like data or for precise stuff. And plus the syntax is so simple. Python's another good language to learn actually. I can't remember how it does inheritance, but I think it lets you do monkey patching. Ruby, actually my favorite language is Ruby. More people should learn. Like you might like Ruby actually. It feels like you're writing a more loose version of JavaScript, if that's even possible. It's an interpreted language, and you can do a lot of fun things with it. And plus, it's a JVM language too, so anywhere Java can run, it can run. And I believe you can probably do interop stuff with it, so you could have Ruby called Java code and vice versa. I think that works. Is that true? Let me double check that actually. Actually, now curious. I think it's JVM compliant. Yeah. C++, yeah. Let's see, is it not? It must be a JVM language, right? Statically typed, Smalltalk, Eiffel. Is it not? No, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just making that up. Okay. Maybe I'm just imagining that. In Python, you just do print. And then in Ruby, it's actually even shorter. In Ruby, you just do... see if I can type that. Let's see. Am I a gamer? Somewhat. I do some game stuff. Been playing a lot of Valheim recently. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Valheim recently. I don't really play anything. I don't really play any of the normal like first-person shooter stuff, just because it's a bit too much. All right, I gotta think about this. All right, handle input. Var. Oh god, what is it? say the direction, oh, nope. Direction equal to, saw some Twitchers streaming this game. Which game? Valheim? No, it's transform.forward. Plus input, or sorry, new vector. Okay, I'll see ya. It's nice meeting you too, Clink. Let's transform.forward. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to move forward, and then we want to allow for steering. So we want to transform.forward plus something a little bit to the left or to the right. No, it isn't. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why? What am I doing? Alright, really it should be rotating, trying to make the A and B keys rotate while the plane just goes forward. So, okay, let me think about something. The target rotation, so we're going to have a protected quaternion, which is the target rotation, and then we'll just rotate that and then rotate towards that. So we'll say transform.rotation equals, or no, wait, can we just do transform.rotate? Oh, we can rotate by an angle. That might work. That might work. Okay, so if that's true. So we rotate by the rotation amount, right? So it'd be transform.rotate around. And then we rotate around the transform.up because since we're facing down, the angle we want to rotate around is the transform's up axis, which would be the y-axis, because it's x, y is the vertical axis, and z is the sort of depth axis. And then it would be the public float, let's say rotation speed. And let's say it's, I don't know, 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So we rotate 90 degrees per second. Say the rotation speed times time dot delta time. Why does it not like that? Interface to get time from Unity. Wait, what? Hang on. Does it not like? Ooh, deprecated. Oh, dot rotate instead. Alright, dot rotate. And then this should have the same, yeah, this has the same overload. Okay, so basically, we're going to rotate times that rotation speed. And then what we're going to do is the input, it's going to be input.getAxis horizontal, times, or not get, yeah, getAxis times that, okay. So this should rotate us around the x and y axis by the rotation speed times time.delta time. Yes, okay, that should work. And then the direction, or sorry, we're going to have a public rigid body. It is going to be a rigid body. It's going to be a 3D version, even though this is going to be sort of a 2D game. It's going to be a 3D version because we're going to actually be using a 3D camera. And the 2D version goes on the x and y axis when we're using the x and z. So this will be the rigid body dot velocity is equal to direction times speed, and the nope. This is going to be direction. Nope. This is going to be our direction is equal to the transform dot forward. Since we're rotating the transform each frame, the forward could change. So it'll be the transform dot forward, and then it'll just be, that should always be normalized. So actually it's just transform dot forward times the speed. There we go. So in theory, that should always have us pointed forward. Yes. That should always move us in whatever the forward direction is. So if this, whoops, I don't want to do whatever that was. What just happened to my camera? What on earth? Okay. Camera's being weird. Alright, let me add a rigid body to this. Turn gravity off. Oh, but that won't be forward, will it? No, that will be forward, actually. Cool, that might actually work. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, if I press the W and the S keys, we can steer. And our plane, yeah, basically maintains, maintains going forward while turning at the correct speed. Perfect. Love that. Now, it needs to go a little bit faster, and whoops, what's missing? Nothing relevant. We now need the camera to actually track the plane. So we need another script. I'm going to call this player controller component. And then I'm going to put that up there. And this should break the, whenever I did that, it should have broken the link here. No, it didn't. Okay, I'm still confused as to how that works, but okay. Not gonna complain. So we'll create a new script. We'll create a mono behavior. We'll create a follow camera component. What is wrong with my camera? I swear, there's always something with that camera. This will be a private void update. I think it needs to be on the late update. And then it's the public game object target. What we're going to do is we're going to have a protected vector3. We need an offset, which is going to be just whatever distance, or not distance, but like wherever we were relative to the target when the scene was loaded. So it's going to be a private void awake to capture that offset. So I think the offset is equal to the target dot, whoops, not tabbed view. This can actually just be a transform, because that's all we care about. This is the target dot position minus our position. That's the offset, and then our position is equal to the target dot transform dot position, or no, it's vector3 dot lerp. So we're going to lerp to the target. We're going to start at our position, and then we want to lerp to the target position plus the offset. And we want to do that by 0.1 f per second. Well, this will be per frame, but it'll be relatively quick. And I think it actually needs to be 0.05, like that. I think this is actually relatively quick. So let's see what happens whenever I do this. Because I always have to remember whether it's where I think it's where you want to be versus where, or minus where you are. I think that gives you a target or an offset vector or something. But I'll have to double check. And I think late update is the correct update, but I have to double check on that as well. So let's see what happens. Nope, it's the other way around. Okay, it's where we are minus where we want to go. That might only apply to the offset, actually. No, wait. I guess that works? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're getting the choppy kind of movement. So what that tells me is that we need to put this somewhere else. So it's not the late update, it's the fixed update. I would have thought late update would work, though. I wonder why it doesn't. It is fixed update. Okay, that's fair. I guess late update happens every frame, so we're getting 2 lerps per frame. I guess that's fair. Turning's not that great. That's probably fine. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is we need to attach the camera, or sorry, the water to the camera. So I want it to move around in the background. Oh, whoops. What on earth? Oh, right, because the water's coming with us, we don't actually see any change. Alright, that's fair. What we need to do is we need the water to change a little bit, which is fine. I had intended to do that, but I just hadn't. So it'll be equal to, it should be the offset, or the offset should be based on the position. So it's based on the X and Y position, and I think it repeats every, since this is 2 by 2, this is 10 by 10. So it repeats every like 10, or what's it called, like every 10 units or something. So we basically need another script for that, and this is going to be just the water script, I guess. Water, or water component. I don't know, scrolling background component. So what we can do is we can say that we need a public, is that done with a sprite renderer? Did I do that with a sprite renderer? I don't think that's what I wanted. Yeah, this is not what I wanted. Because I don't think we can offset that. Okay, yeah, that's not what I wanted. What I wanted was a quad. This needs to be a 3D object. We need a quad. And we need that to be its own thing. Get rid of you. The water, that needs to be applied as a material. And then the quad itself should probably have a -1, or no, wait. Needs to have a minus, what is it, -4.5? No, 4.5, okay. Okay, that's fair. And this will be the water. So we want to change this. This doesn't need a collider on it. Just need the water material to actually work. This should be URP but unlit, right? Universal render unlit, yeah. And then this is opaque, that's correct. No alpha clipping. The base map should be that. And it should be no tiling. And I think this needs to be 10 by 10. And I think that's correct. Yes, okay. Roughly 10 by 10. We can adjust it later. Yeah, so this is the scrolling background component, and this is going to be a mesh renderer. This is the mesh renderer. So on update, private void update, what we shall do is we shall access, we basically want to access the material on this and just set the offset. So actually you might be able to just set the offset normally instead of accessing the material, because this is the surface input. So let's, whoops, that's not what I want to do. That's also not what I want to do. What do I want to do? I want to find Unity. That's what I want to do. There we go. Oh, wait, what's that? No, it's mesh renderer.material .off .set. Or what is it? Get texture offset. Get texture offset. So to give it the name of the texture, and then it's .set texture offset. Yeah, it's the texture offset. What is this texture actually called? I believe build texture stacks. No. Text enemies. So it's the base map. It's either base map or main text. I can't remember. It's probably base map. But yeah, we just set the. Actually, I think it's just. Let's just use main text. I think you can do that. Right, underscore main text, yeah. So we can set the offset underscore main text, and then it's a vector 2. So the offset is going to be equal to the transform.position, and I think it's modulus 10. Oh god, what's wrong with my camera? Why is my camera always screwing up? Alright, let us, okay, seems to have fixed itself. And also I need to double check something. Okay, sure. That's fine. Okay. So the offset is going to be like a modulus 10, but I think it needs to be clamped. Not clamped, it needs to be repeated, that's what it is. So new vector 2, it's going to be mathf.repeat. So okay, we're gonna have two elements. First one is mathf.repeat, and then it's going to be transform.position.x, and we're going to repeat every 10 units. And then we're going to do the same thing for transform.position.z, I believe. No, it's .y. Wait. Is it? Also. I don't remember. Offset. Let me remove those. Okay. So is it every... Oops, nope, damn it. Alright. So if main text doesn't work, we'll use base map. And yeah, we are using the x and the y, right? Yeah, we're using the x and the y. Okay. Okay. So in theory, that should just work. Assuming we have everything set up right. So this is the scrolling background component, yeah. And then the mesh render is that. Okay. Let's try that. Nope, that does not work. That's not main text. It's probably base map. Base map. Let's try that. Let's see if that works. Okay, that does not at all do what I want. Okay. Why did that not work? Okay. Hang on, let me check out the universal render pipeline. If we use a lit version, because this is the base map, but we should be able to use... Actually, wait a minute. I wonder, is it just because it doesn't... Is it because the world position is technically not changing? Well, the world position is changing, but is it not... Is it reading the local position and not the world position? Let's actually store this in an offset. Vector 3 offset. We'll just say offset equals offset. Okay, let's try that. And then we can just inspect this and see what happens. Nope, let's not do that. Okay, so the offset is changing, but it's not actually scrolling. Interesting that it's not actually repeating. Y value is not repeating. That's interesting. Why is that? Oh, because the x and z are changing. Okay. Yeah, it's also not scrolling, so it's not working. Why is it not working though? Because like we can change. Whoa, that's interesting. Why is that happening? Huh, that's weird. I don't know why that's happening. Oh, because it's not on repeat, right? It's not repeating at all. Why? Oh, because the material's not set to repeat? No. Huh. Okay. You know what, I'm not messing with the unlit stuff anymore, I'll just mess with the lit stuff, because that's, I understand that. It's URP, the lit version. And this should allow it to repeat. Does it need to be Pelic Alpha, water, wrap mode? Oh, the wrap mode's not on repeat. That's the problem. Sure, apply that. Then if we apply this to base map, then does that work? If we move this back to a unlit version, whoops, that's legacy unlit. That version. Okay. If we do that, will you work? Okay. Needs to have the scrolling speed changed, but sure. So that's X and Z. I guess we can divide by something. I guess we'll say like public float speed is going to be equal to 1.0f, and this will be, I guess, divided by 100. So basically just well, 10 over 100 is like 1 over 10. So 0.1 f times speed. Something like that? Or wait, no. Oops, that's not right. So we do want this to loop at 10, but we want this to be multiplied by 0.1 times speed. 0.1 f times speed. Something like that. So this will cause the water to repeat every once in a while, but not too often. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it doesn't, doing this, we don't actually have to move the, we don't have to create a bunch of copies of this plane, basically, or of this, like, water material. We can just kind of move around on top of it. We can increase the speed to make it look like we're going a bit faster than this. Yeah, that's a bit fast. All right. Yeah, maybe that'll work. Something like that. But yeah, the jet itself is too large and it needs to be changed a little bit, but I'll work on that a little bit off camera. I do kind of like the way that it kind of looks like it has a bit of a hard time turning. I kind of like that. Gives it a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more. But yeah, I like that. I don't like the water texture. That will definitely 100% have to change. But we can do that later. Do you want it to be a little bit blue though? Probably add a thing where it like fades between two different shades of blue. And that's a shade of purple because I can't see. Why is that such a shade of purple? That's weird. Probably because of the lighting. Did I make this unlit or did I make this lit? I can't remember. No, this is unlit. Okay. It still looks purple. That's weird. Something to do with like multiply or something? Didn't see it in the game. Yeah, that's probably fine. We probably want to change this to be like 2 or something like that. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Kind of like that. Would prefer to have the speed change based on the throttle. Like the, what's it called? The jet's like forward velocity change based on the throttle. So, oh my god, why is the camera acting up? Oh god, I hate the camera so much. Alright, so say var turning is equal to this. I'm going to multiply by the turning. Turning. Wait, why do you not? You don't like that because of that? Yes, okay. Just to make that slightly more readable. And then the speed, we need to change, we need to have the throttle. That will be a protected value. Be like a protected float throttle. I think you can do this inside of the, actually let's not worry about it. Oh hey, One Shot Wonder, how's it going? You're watching me on, what quest are you doing? On my quest. Is that a device? Alright. Oh, Oculus Quest 2. Oh, so it's in VR. That's cool. You can watch. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay. I've not seen the Oculus Quest. Let me look at that. How is it, by the way? Is it good, or is it? Would you recommend an Oculus Quest or no? All-in-one VR. So this is. Ooh, that looks nice. I'll have to look into one of those then, because that looks neat. So what was I going to do? I was going to... I recommend, but you type slow. Oh yeah, I can imagine. I can't... That's one of the things. I can't imagine a VR keyboard. I can barely operate a real keyboard. Much less a VR keyboard. Oh wow, you wouldn't... I don't even know how that would work. You wouldn't have like... God, what's wrong with my camera? You wouldn't have like 5 fingers to use either. That would be really... Yeah, that'd be... I don't know how I'd feel about that. I'd have to think about that for a while. I mean, I bet the VR games are kind of cool though. I've always wanted to play like Subnautica in VR. Probably wouldn't sleep for a while, but you know, it'd be fun. Alright, so, trying to think. So, what can we do? I mean, the next thing we probably need to do is the attack, right? So, like the sort of, need like a projectile sort of component, projectile component. So this will represent our little bullets that we shoot. And I guess this will also represent the missile at some point. So we usually need a public void initialize. Nope. VR games are cool. I can teach you how to make games in VR. Games in VR, I know that you can do... I know that Unity is capable of that. I have not... I have messed with VR a little bit, but it's just... I've been kind of hesitant to jump on the VR train just because people were so like adamant about it in, I want to say it was like 17 or 20, it's either 2017 or 2016 when people were like super adamant about it, and I was like, because it's weird with me because like usually whenever somebody is adamant about something, I'm like, oh, I don't want any of that. So that's kind of what happened, and I just kind of fell off the train on it. I'm kind of glad I didn't buy an early VR headset though, just because VR has changed so much in the past couple of years, even, you know, even by technology standards. I'm gonna bump that saturation a little bit because... Oh, it was? Okay. Yeah, I remember Jim Sterling did a video about what he called VR troopers. Just people who were really adamant about VR. But yeah. What am I doing? This is the float. Whoops, no. The float speed. No. Direction. And then vector 3. Vector 3. Right, no. Don't worry about it. Hero's gotten better. Oculus Quest 2 eyes. 2 eye is the best. Or sorry, 2 is the best so far. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know it has gotten better. I'm just glad that I didn't buy one of the early ones because it's gotten better like so fast, and I would have been a little bit behind on it. Oh wow, that's very nice. It's very high res. Oh geez, 90 hertz. How can you? I don't know how. I can't tell the difference. Like one of the benefits of having very bad eyes is that you can't, like after 60 hertz or something, you can't really tell the difference. But it's pretty cool for people who can. Like I'm very jealous of people who can. So I'm like, oh, I wish I could, I wish stuff looked nice for me. So I'm going to do private void on trigger, enter. Other, oh right, we need also to store the parent. Actually, let's create a new, what shall we call this? Call this unit component. Unit component. This will just represent things that can be hit. So in our projectile component on the trigger enter, I want to say var unit equals other.get component, get the unit component, unit component. So, and the res is all in one. It's all in one. When you have a PC, it can go, oh my god, 420. Oh my god, that's insane. I can't even imagine. I don't. Yeah, oh my god, that must melt your PC to try to run that though. Like you gotta have a really good PC. Like I only have like a 970, I think, in this, which is old at this point, but it was, god, what is wrong with the camera? Yeah, I have a 970 in this thing, so I don't think it could run. I don't think it could actually run a VR headset. I think I'd have to buy a new PC for it. Otherwise return if unit is the owner. Unit owner. Actually, this can be protected. No, I mean you can mod it to that. Oh, okay. Unit component owner. Yeah, I'd like to look into VR games at some point, but I just haven't. But yeah, I can't. I know that Unity, a while ago, they released their like VR toolkit where you could build, environments in VR. Like it was really cool. I never got to try it out, but I wanted to. Yeah. I mean, one day when the tech gets like super cheap, I'll probably do it. But for now, I think it's just not, I don't know, I think it's just not quite to the point where I'd like to invest my time in that. But I did want a VR headset, but it's just, yeah. Actually, this could just be an or, because we don't do anything if we hit ourselves. It won't get cheaper. It'll get cheaper. There'll be cheaper options. There always are. mean, I think the... What's the Oculus? Isn't the original Oculus down? Looks like the Oculus... What's the price of the Oculus Rift? Is it still what it used to be? Oh, I guess they are. Oh, no. There's one here for like 500. I don't know if that's a scam or not because it's on eBay. But there is one... I know they used to be like 1100 or something. But they're showing the Oculus Quest now. Jeez. Yeah. Damage, take mount, okay. Otherwise, unit dot take damage. I don't know, we'll say 1 for now. Sure, take damage 1. Game up or destroy game object. Well, I do got 2 vids to make your phone VR and Wii remote for your controller. I got 2 vids to make your phone VR. Oh, okay. And Wii remotes for your controller. Trying to parse that sentence. I'm not entirely sure what it means. And Wii remotes for your controller. Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure how to parse that sentence exactly. Debug.log log taking damage. Yeah, I know what a Wii is. Well, I do got 2 vids to make your phone. Are you talking about like a split screen VR on your phone and then using Wii remotes for the controller? Or yeah, using Wii remotes for the controllers? As like a way to like hack a VR headset, or a way to hack like a Vive or a Oculus into existence. That's an interesting idea. Try that. God, the camera is just really getting on my nerves because it looks wrong no matter what I do with it. Oh well, I can't fix it. So the player controller component, right? This, okay. What we need to do is we need to have a public projectile component, and then this is the bullet. And then what we need to do is if, what is it? If input dot, actually I want to call this bullet prefab. If input dot get mouse button down, the mouse button 0, so left click fires the machine gun. Make your phone into a Vive headset and a remote. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. That's an idea. I don't know how that'll work with. I have an iPhone, so I don't know how that'll work. I mean, I do have actually I have a Razer. That might work. It'll probably work well with the Razer, actually. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I don't know if well, I guess the Wiimotes, the tracking should be accurate enough. Yeah, I was always impressed by, the Oculus stuff because, or no, it wasn't the Oculus, it was actually the HTC stuff, because I know the HTC Vive had the, oh, okay, yeah, a Razer will work, okay. Yeah, I know the HTC Vive had, like the super accurate motion tracking. And I don't know how accurate it is with a Wiimote, but it's probably close enough. Get mouse button down, var projectile equals instantiate bullet prefab game object, or no, just instantiate that. Instantiate it at transform.position and transform.forward. Oh no, right. No, transform.rotation. That way it should work, it should go forward. Say projectile.initialize The component, we'll just say that that's null for now. Say the speed is 1.0f, and then the direction it would be transformed forward. And that should work. I think so. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Mostly recommend iPhone because iPhone has the VR integration. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know how that would work with iPhone and VR or Android, because I had always assumed that Android was a bit like more open and stuff. But I guess iOS probably has some good VR stuff. I don't know. I'm curious to see how the integrations work. Yeah, let me. We can use a 3D object for this, actually. We can just use a cube. It's probably fine. We can set that to be a trigger, and then we can say 0.1, 0.1, and 0.1. Oh, what iPhone? Oh, that's a good question. I don't actually know. I think it's, oh my god, which iPhone is it? I should be able to go to, like, general about. It's an iPhone. Nope, not now. Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's an iPhone 8. Okay. Yeah, iPhone 8. I think it's an older one. Just too stubborn to, well, not even too stubborn. I'm just too lazy to upgrade. I should, though. Don't use gravity. Then a projectile component. Okay. iPhone 8 maybe works. Okay. If not, I think I have an upgrade that I should get, but I haven't done it. I'm just too lazy. Just don't want to spend the time going to the Sprint store and all that stuff, or whatever store. That doesn't. No, it doesn't really matter actually. Just get rid of that. The player component. So this will work on a left mouse button. Click. It should. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. My dad has iPhone 10, and it works on his. There's a chance. Okay. Okay, I could try that. Something like that. And if it doesn't work, I could always just, you know, get my iPhone upgraded or whatever. Alright. Need a public unit component. Say unit, unity unit. First we need to pass in unit, then we need to pass in like 3 or something for that. Then eventually, with materials, we can create a new material. Yeah, I'll definitely have to try that. Okay, yeah. Do some research, tell me if it works. Bullet. Okay. Set the smoothness to 0. Then I will go into prefabs, I'll go into the bullet, open this, right. Then set the material to the bullet material. And actually the actual like bullet itself, need to duplicate this. Yeah, that's fine. Can remove the box collider. We can remove the cube mesh. We can remove the mesh renderer. Then this should be the model. Actually, we need to keep the box collider. Box collider. Okay. And this should be 111. This should be 0.05, 0.05, and 0.05. Or no, 0.01. No, 0.1. Okay. Then this should be 0.05, 0.05, and 0.1. Alright, now something's bothering me. pictures on the news, long lines, cars, yeah. People just texting me about conditions in Texas. One day. Texas. Why is that happening? Okay, what is actually happening? These are stationary. So the rigid body's velocity is not getting set. Why is that? No, really, why is that? The unit component is this. We can put that there, but I don't think that's the issue. I think it's because, no, this does reference a rigid body here. Okay. No, really, what? Oh, yep, it does. It's the first version of iPhone. Oh, okay, that's perfect. Why is that happening? So yeah, I will definitely have to look into that, because that seems like a good way to try VR without actually having to buy a VR headset. Owner equals owner. If not unit or owner is equal to unit return. Oh, right, because owner was null. That's why it was stopping. Actually, why was it stopping? No, why is it actually stopping? I don't understand. What am I doing wrong? Wait. Do you have Discord so I can give you some apps? I don't have a Discord actually. I probably should. But if you can just put them in the chat because I can, I can go look at them. But yeah, I'll definitely have to look at that. I'll look at the VR stuff because that definitely looks interesting. Thanks for telling me about that, by the way. Still okay, let me just answer this. Oh, wait, you can't. Oh, you can't because you're in VR. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I apologize. I actually don't have a Discord, so I probably should set one. I probably should get one though. I saw pictures, more lines. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's been crazy in Texas with the freeze and stuff. It's just been really hard to find like anything. Okay, so if I do this, are those actually moving or not? I actually cannot tell. They are moving in the z-axis. Wait. It shows that they're moving. But I'm not. Wait, what? I'm very confused. Why? Wait, they both have. Oh, because they both have rigid bodies. Okay. That's the problem. There ended up being two rigid bodies here. Yeah, okay, that's the issue. That's an issue, I should say. Yeah, there we go. That should fix that. Really, this doesn't. No, this. Wait, which one needs the box collider? Not this one. That's which one. And that should be a trigger. Yes, okay. In theory, that should work. There we go. Yeah, okay. Need to work on that turning, but otherwise, it's probably fine. Probably need to have a little bit different speed. Okay. There virtual reality, okay. You see what this is? Oh, why did it pick that one? No, it didn't pick that one, okay. Let's try to connect to the Apple Store. Moment, people are texting me. Let's use virtual reality, guess. Okay, yeah, I see. I'll be able to, I think I can rewatch the stream on my phone, and I think I can, actually, I can just go to the stream on my, no, I'd have to rewatch it because I'm not connected to the chat, technically. Yeah, I'll just have to rewatch the stream on my phone to actually look at this, because it doesn't open in Firefox, but yeah. What time did this happen? 1:12, okay. Yeah, I'll check that out. Alright. Yeah, the freeze stuff in Texas has just been crazy. Lots of people without power, some people without water, food is hard to find. It's just like the beginning of the pandemic. Well, actually, I guess we didn't have the power outages, but power and water outages I think were fine. But yeah, this morning I went to the store and had to wait like an hour and something, a little over an hour, to get into a place to actually get food. Pretty crazy. But yeah. Alright, I'm gonna make this a prefab. Now I need to actually make the model bit a little bit smaller. Should really be 0.35, not 0.25, 0.35, yeah. But yeah, thank you for telling me about those. I'll have to try them a bit later though. Wish I could do it now, but yeah. Even if I were to connect to the stream on my phone, it would still, I would have connected to the chat, so I don't think I'll have the previous messages. Let me see what the scale looks like here. Obviously the bullets need to be decreased in scale, but other than that, 0.01 maybe? Yeah, 0.02. 0.02. Then 0.0. Okay, I want to play some VR. Okay. Well, whenever I set up a Discord, I'll probably send you a friend request then. Yeah, enjoy the VR stuff. Let me write this down. Not there though. Also not there. Alright. See ya. Okay, so what? That's fine. Then the actual box here needs to be 2.5. 2.5. 04? No. 04. Yes, okay. That should be tiny enough to be a bullet for this. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. I like that. Okay, so now I want it to be a hold to fire kind of situation. And what does this look like? What does this look like when we maximize? No. When we maximize, how big is this? It's a bit bigger than I'd like, but we'll make it work. Yeah, I want this to be hold to fire. So basically the way I want that to work is whenever you hold it down, it will fire a certain number of bullets. They'll each have a little bit of spread, basically. And you'll have a certain amount of shots. So actually we'll have just a bullet or a weapon component. And the weapon component will handle the actual firing part. So we'll just have a public void fire. Then in here, what we'll do is we'll say a unit, we'll have public weapon component, say weapon, and we'll just call weapon.fire. This will just be input.getMouseButton. So this will just try to fire every single frame, and if you are able to fire, then it will actually fire, otherwise it won't. And you need to pass in the unit because that's the user. That's interesting. I don't know why the syntax highlighting screwed it up there. Yeah, this will not store the bullet prefab anymore. It'll be stored on the weapon because that's just a better place for it. So yeah, that'll work. So the actual weapon component, we could probably have weapons in here. Sure, we'll have the weapon component, that's fine. Have a machine gun. No, actually we don't need a special, never mind, we don't need a special version of that. Just delete this, yeah. What we'll say is, we'll say the, well no, actually we do need, I will figure it out later. Public int clip size. Basically there's going to be a certain number of bullets in the clip. After it uses all of them, then it will have to reload. Float reload, yeah, we'll just say reload duration. Then we'll have a protected int current bullets. Then we'll have protected float reload end. Then a protected bool is reloading. So what we'll do is in fire, we'll say if is reloading, or so yeah, if is reloading, then we just return, because you can't fire until you've reloaded. Then we'll also have a protected float next fire time, and we will have a public float fire delay. So basically the fire delay is the time between shots. I'll just say time between shots actually. Yeah, time between shots. And so the next fire time is equal to that. Say if we're reloading, or time.time is less than the next fire time. So basically if we're not ready to fire yet, or if we're reloading, we just return. Otherwise, what we want to do is I'm going to say current bullets minus equals 1, or minus minus, I guess. And then the next fire time equals time.time plus time between shots, whatever that might be. So we'll say the default reload duration is, I guess, 2 seconds. And the default time between shots will just be 1. For machine gun, it's going to be fairly large, or fairly small. And then the clip size is that. I guess we'll just say shots per second or something. Yeah, that'll work. And then the time between shots is basically 1 divided by the shots per second. Yeah. So that's the next fire time. Then we decrement the fire time, or yeah, decrement the yeah, we set the next fire time. We also want to double check the reloading part. So if let's say if is reloading, if is reloading and time.time greater than reload end, then we'll say is reloading is false. So this will update the reloading, and actually that needs to be in private void update. Yeah, something like that. So every frame we'll check if we're done reloading. Technically we could do that in here, but I'll just do it every frame, doesn't really matter. And then the next fire time is equal to that. Okay, and then we will spawn the bullet itself. which is equal to transform.forward, which the weapon should face where our what's it called? Ah, God. Where our plane is facing. God, my brain. All right. Then after this, we'll say if current bullets is equal to 0, then what we will do is we will start reloading, which will say reload end is equal to time.time plus reload time, or reload duration. We'll say is reloading is equal to true. And then whenever we're done reloading, we will say current bullets is equal to clip size. And we'll have a protected void start reloading. And then a protected void finish reloading. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll put the start reloading here, and then the finish reloading here. And I don't know if we'll reuse this, but you know, we might. We'll say finish reloading. Yes. Okay. There we go. Okay, I think that will work. It's basically we'll have like a hold to fire kind of thing. We'll fire like 10 bullets at once. And for that, we're going to need to go into the jet prefab, and we will need to create a weapon. We'll just say machine gun. Machine gun. This normally isn't how I do weapons, but it'll work. So the prefab will be this bullet, and reload duration will be 2 seconds, and then we'll say maybe 10 shots per second, and the clip size will be 100. Now we'll say 50, so we can fire for 5 seconds. And what else we need to do is we also need to go to the projectile component, and we need to say GameObject.destroy, and we want to destroy this game object on a delay of, I don't know, 2 seconds. So it'll live for 2 seconds. So if I did this right, we need to link those two. Yeah, there we go. And now if I did that right, go into the scene here. Whoops. Go into scenes, yes. That should have updated. Looks like it did, okay. So if I did that right, should be able to hold this down, and then in a couple seconds it should stop. Okay, maybe it won't stop. Okay, something's broken. What is broken? Alright, set this to debug, see what we have here. Ah, so the current bullets are less than that, okay. See, I'm checking equals. This is why I always check less than 0. I really shouldn't, or I really should not do equals, but you know, is what it is. Void awake. The current bullets are going to be equal to the clip size, and then the next fire time should be 0, reloading can be false, and the reload end is fine. Okay. Yeah, that's why I always check less than or equals, but you know. Okay, so now, after like 5 seconds, this should stop. There we go. 2 seconds, there we go. Yeah. Of course, this probably needs to fire a little bit faster, and I also want like a spread thing. So I guess a public float spread. And this will be in degrees, so I guess 5-degree spread normally. And then I guess public, well, no. Work with that later. So we're going to instantiate this with the transform.rotation, and then we're going to multiply by quaternion. We're going to multiply by the spread, which is going to be equal to quaternion. Should be quaternion. God damn it. quaternion dot Euler, I think is the word, is the thing, yeah, Euler. And it's going to be a new vector 3. I think it's going to be I think we want to rotate about the y-axis. So it'll be mathf.range, or no, not range, it's random.range. Yeah, random.range between minus spread and positive spread. Minus spread, and positive spread. Yeah. And then 0.0f. Okay. And let's just multiply by the spread, and that will rotate it. So this should have a random rotation for each shot. So machine gun on our jet. This, it should really shoot 20 per second, and I guess we'll have a clip size of 25. I know that's not a realistic clip size, but it's probably fine. You know, not a super realistic game. So yeah. Did that fire? No, that's not working. Yeah, that's not what I want at all. Why did that happen? Is it not rotating around the y-axis? That should rotate around the y-axis. So why is that happening? Transform.rotation times spread. Why is that not working? Because, like, that should be working. So my camera is dying again. Alright. So yeah, that works. So yeah, it fires at the right. Fires correctly. Okay. So now, alright, if I look at these, if I adjust their y-axis, I get that, yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's weird. Okay, let me fix the camera. So that's the one thing that I do way too much. Okay. Should be good for a while. Okay. So no, really, why is that not working? Because the Euler should be at the XYZ. Yeah, XYZ. Times spread. Yeah. So that should rotate it by plus or minus the spread, right? But it seems to be constant. Okay, if I fire it this way. Okay, maybe it is doing that, and it's just very noticeable. It seems to go to one side, though. Yeah, it only seems to go to the left, not to the right. Why is that? From minus spread to spread, yeah. Min inclusive to max inclusive. Why does it do that? It should be rotating by a negative angle, should it not? Am I just crazy? Can you negate? Actually, what I could just do, 0 to spread. 0.0f? Oh, you can't negate a quaternion, huh? Interesting. Is there any way? Why? Am I just crazy? Alright, let's look at this. Because there might be something weird where they can't be negative. not invert, flip a quaternion. Negative. Yeah, how do you negate that? Oh, you invert? Well, invert the rotation, so you need to set the local rotation to the inverse of the camera. Huh. Quaternion, Euler, negative? That doesn't seem to work. That's my question. It's a bit less than ideal. No way to get negative Euler rotation values from quaternions. Somehow Unity is doing it in the transfer inspector. Movement, Euler Z. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Seems this code works for others, but it did not work for me. Version, this works perfectly. Huh, that's weird. Doesn't work. Okay. So I suppose what I can do... Alright, so if I want that to work, then really this needs to be... Oh god, I'm trying to think about this. This will never work. Okay. If I make this to 0, what happens? Because that should cause it to go only to the left, not to the right. If I'm thinking about that right. Which it does. Okay. Maybe I'm just crazy. Wait a minute. Ah, okay. Because I have times equals. That's what the problem is. I'm an idiot. It's one of the problems that I have with that. That shouldn't be valid. That shouldn't be valid syntax. An assignment like that shouldn't be valid mid-expression. Also, why is that not being applied? No, why is that not being applied? Instantiate at transform.position.initialize transform.forward. Ah, because it needs to be initialized. It doesn't need a direction. That's the problem. And I don't need GameObject.destroy. It's transform.forward. That's the problem. Forward times speed. Okay. We'll just always instantiate it facing the right direction. That should be fine. There we go. Now we have some spread on that. That's good. Okay, I like that. So yeah, now we need some kind of UI to display that. Basically, the way that I want to do the missile sort of stuff is that you like right-click and then it launches a missile to that location. So that's what I shall work on. So in the weapon component, so I need to sort of abstract this a little bit. So now we go to the weapons folder here. We move the weapon component in there. That's fine. Create a machine gun version of the weapon. Machine gun component. Yeah, and that's, well, actually, no. We'll just create a missile weapon component. We'll use inheritance. This inherits from weapon component. Okay. And I want to declare these as virtual. Virtual. And actually declare all of these as virtual. And yeah, even that and that should be fine. Oh, really? Those can't be virtual? Or abstract members. Virtual abstract member. Oh, right, because they can't be private. Okay, interesting. So I guess they have to be protected. That's true because you otherwise you couldn't override them. That makes sense. Okay. So actually all of this should be fine, I think, except the fire. And it's because fire actually needs a position to go to. Yeah, fire actually needs a position to go to. And in the case of this, we'll have to say position, or vector3 position equals vector, or isn't it what, default vector3 dot 0, or default equals vector3 dot 0? Oh god, what is the actual syntax? Isn't it like default this equals that? Oh god, I can't remember. Sharp default syntax. Oh boy, wish I could remember. Yeah, for a switch statement, operator a literal. No, it's a default method value. Named an optional argument. Where is it? So there's an optional argument. Oh, okay, you don't need the default keyword. Okay. Got it. Can that really not be a static reference? Must be compiled time. Is this not? Seriously? Actually, isn't compile time constant? Wait a minute. Are there none? Okay. It has to be compile time constant. Default parameter struct. Because this would have to be, yeah, I actually don't know. Also, why is that just not returning anything? C# does not allow struct to declare a default. No, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Okay. I mean, that can't be null because I don't think structs can be assigned to null, right? Yeah, that's not allowed. And a constructor wouldn't be, yeah, compile time constant. So these are not technically constants. Okay. That's, very curious about that. So the way that we can fix that is we can say this is equal to null, which is compile time constant. Yeah, that'll work. It's a bit hacky, but it'll work. Then we can override the fire to do that, okay. And yeah, this is never gonna work, is it? Because projectile, Alright, yeah, let's not worry about it. Let's just not worry about it. It would be nice to reuse some of this stuff. Well, actually, no. What am I doing? Yes. What we can do is we can reuse the, I guess, machine gun weapon component. So what we can do is weapon component stuff. We can actually get rid of the fire method. So we'll just get rid of this. We'll move this down into here. And then, because the reloading stuff is going to be identical, right? So the bullet prefab will be different, but that's fine. And yeah, I think the spread and everything will be the same. So this will be the weapon component. So now all of that works, but now we need a public projectile component, and this will be the bullet prefab. Yeah. And the missile weapon component will always have a position. So you have to fire and you have to give it a position. Okay. That way they have two different signatures because they require two different signatures. And then the projectile component, I guess we can have like a missile component or something. Say weapons, we'll say projectiles. Move the projectile component into here. I think this is going to break some references, but it should be fine. And this will be a missile projectile component. Yes, and this will be descendant of the projectile component. Okay, that ought to work. Then we'll make this a protected override, or virtual. Okay, so this is an on trigger enter, and actually all of this should be fine for the missile. I guess we can say on hit. Protected void on hit. So we'll say unit component target. And we'll just say on hit. This way the missile can actually call the explode command. So say target dot take damage, and then it'll be whatever the projectile damage is, which we will load up a bit later. So yeah, machine gun stuff, and then the missile weapon component will have a public. This will be a missile projectile component, and we'll just say missile prefab. Yep, that'll work. And then the missile prefab itself, or the missile projectile component, it will have an initialize, but that will also require a position. Cool. So actually what we want is we just want to reuse this code basically. So we will have a bullet projectile component. This is why I don't like inheritance. It's about to stop working. So have the initialize, go here. And this needs to be descended of the projectile component. Okay. It's the bullet projectile. Basically, the bullet just needs an owner and a speed, and it goes forward. Whereas the missile projectile component, like initialize. Nope. Public void initialize. It needs an owner, a unit component owner. It also needs a speed, but it more importantly also needs a position. Or it's a vector3 position. And it will constantly move towards that position. So this, yeah, basically just call, or this will basically just create the projectile. And yeah. The initialize component here, all right, in the weapon component, the actual fire command here doesn't instantiate. This does projectile.initialize. This is the bullet projectile component. Now that will work. Okay. And then in the missile projectile component, we need to basically do that same logic. Actually, we can create the weapon component. No, we can't. Never mind. Because, yeah, fire doesn't provide us all the information we need. Okay. well, what we can do, we can just duplicate this. I'm down to the point where I don't care anymore. I know there's a pattern we can use to fix it, but I'm just not going to do it. I don't care. We'll deal with it later. I'm going to instantiate the missile prefab. Then we're going to initialize that with the position. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we could use the skeleton algorithm pattern, but not a huge fan of it. That doesn't really let you change the arguments, though. And plus, you can't actually mimic this. You'd have to throw an exception or something, which we don't want to do. Oh, that's so annoying, but whatever. I guess we could change the signature. Yeah, there's not really a way to do that in a good way. So the initialize is going to be here, okay. And right, whenever we initialize this, we basically just want to get a reference. Actually, what does projectile component have? It has an owner and it has a rigid body. Okay, that's fine. This just needs to store a protected vector3 target. And actually, this just needs to be target. Yeah. And then in the missile weapon component, this should be the target. And we need to pass that in here. Yep, okay. And then we would just say target equals target. Then owner equals owner. And then we do need to store the speed. Bullets don't need to store the speed because their projectile doesn't, or their velocity never changes, but ours technically does. Equals speed. Okay. Now I need to change the filters on the camera once again. Ooh, I don't know how I can do this. It's getting a bit dark. Okay. Should work. Let me actually close these so that doesn't change again. Was that good? Not quite. Let's see if I can. Nope, doesn't like that. What if I do that? You happy now? If I lower that, no. Change that here to there, then no. Saturation will never be right, but it's fine. Okay, and then each frame with the missile component, we want to basically not lerp, but like basically each frame we want to adjust our velocity so that we're moving towards the target. We want to rotate towards the target. So we're going to say transform.rotation is equal to, or no, it'll just be transform.rotate around. We want to rotate, or no, it's rotate, and we want to rotate around vector3.up, and we want to rotate by the turn speed, which we're not passing in. And we'll just pick one. We'll say it turns at 60 degrees a second. We want to say time.delta time, or not time.time, time.delta time. See how I rotate by 60 degrees per second, and we just rotate. Oh, right, we don't want to do that though. We want to calculate the look rotation. And that's equal to quaternion.look rotation. So it's the rotation that would turn, so it creates a specified rotation with the forward and upwards direction. So the forward direction would be our position, transform.position, minus the target.position, or no, just target. Then upward would be vector 3 dot 1, or no, dot up, because that's the upward. Yeah, I think that's the upward. And then we would say transform dot rotation is equal to, or no, be transform dot rotate towards, I think, or no. Let's transform. You could just say transform rotation is times equal to look rotation times time dot delta time. Is that how that works? No, you can't do that. Okay. Quaternion dot rotate towards, is that a thing? Quaternion dot rotate towards, yeah, it is. Okay. So from 2, so we want to rotate from transform dot rotation. We want to rotate towards the look rotation, and we want to rotate by 60.0f times time dot delta time. Basically, the max degrees change being 60 degrees times whatever frame. So I think that'll work. And then the way that we do this is in the player controller component. We don't have a weapon component, we have a bullet, or no, we have a weapon, we have a machine gun weapon component. And so this is the machine gun. And then we have a public missile projectile component, or not missile projectile component, missile weapon component. So weapon component, say missile. So we'll just have one for the left, one for the right. But we will say machine gun dot fire, and we'll say else if, or no, we'll just say if input dot get mouse button down. We'll use the right. We'll say missile dot fire, and we'll say we'll use this, or no, we'll use the unit, and then the position that we want to fire to is the input dot, or no, it's the screen. Is it screen to, or no, it's camera dot main dot screen screen to world point, which is the transform dot, or no, the input dot mouse position. And we want to convert that, so this is the var fire target. It's going to be equal to that. And I think this will convert it to, transforms the screen to world space, where the world is defined as the coordinate system at the very top of your game. Okay. Sure. Let's try that. And I don't know how the missile's going to work, but it'll work. So what we want to say is that the rigid body dot velocity is equal to transform dot forward times speed. There we go. Okay, so every frame it's going to try to move towards the target, wherever that might be. So now the jet's going to have a lot of broken references, but that's fine. Okay, so if we go into here, yes, that's missing. Okay, if we go into here, so that's fine. It's just a normal weapon component. We want to remove that. I want to say a machine gun weapon component. And then this will fire a bullet weapon component, or bullet projectile component, which has this rigid body. So the jet will fire, or the machine gun will fire the bullet. And then the jet itself will reference this machine gun. And then we will duplicate this and call this the missile. And then this will be the missile weapon component. Okay. And the reload duration will be much higher. It will be 1 shot per second, and it will be 1 shot, and it'll have a 0 clip spread, a 0% clip spread, or 0% shot spread, right? That's what I meant to say. My brain is not fried. Alright, so this is going to be the missile. So we can remove the bullet component. We'll put the missile projectile component. This will be the rigid body. Okay. Then inside the jet here, we'll have the missile, call this the missile launcher. And it will launch missiles. Okay. Don't replace. Wanted to reorder these, but apparently you can't. No, I think they're stuck in alphabetical order. Okay. Missile launcher goes there. Alright. So now, if we left click, that doesn't work. I think something got reset. If I right click, whoop, I don't know where that went. Where did that go? It's heading off in its own direction. Okay. Well, what we can do is we can say if vector3 dot, or actually what I want to do is I want to see where it targets first. So the way to do that is to create a target indicator. So say public game object indicator, which we're going to need something like this anyway. This is an indicator, like a target indicator. I'm going to say indicator.transform.position is equal to target. So wherever that goes, we will just move the indicator to that. For now, we'll just create like a sphere or something. This will be a sphere, this will be the indicator. And we will want that to have bullet material because it's visible. That did not work. That did. And we'll just remove the sphere collider, that's fine. And then we'll say, I don't know, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. And now 0.1, 0.1, and 0.1 just to give us a more precise location. All right, and then the main camera, I think, has the, no, it's the jet that has it. This is the indicator, okay. Now if I right click, the indicator should not go to the mouse position. Ah, it goes up here. That's the problem. Because the Y needs to be at 0. All right. So, say target equals new vector3 such that target.x 0.0f target.y. Actually, this is just transform position y, and then that is the target.z. I think that's right. Let's try that. Because really we want this to appear, whoops. Wait, what? Okay, that's closer. It's a little bit closer to where we want it to be. I don't know if that's exactly right though. Part of the problem is that we're moving when we do this. No, that's definitely wrong. Okay, why does it set it to our position? Yeah, it keeps setting it to our position. Must be doing something wrong. Target.x, target.z. Is it really target.y? I don't think so. Let's try target.y. I don't know. See what happens. But really it shouldn't be. Nope, that's definitely wrong. Alright, I guess I'll just do the old method of doing it. So the other way we can do this is we can say a public plane, protected plane, hit plane, or no, just plane. So on a private void awake, the player controller can say that there is a new, or plane is equal to new plane, and then I believe the normal is vector3 dot up, and then the point is vector3. No, I think we'll just say transform dot position, and I think that creates a plane that faces up. And so what we can do is we can say that the plane, or it'll be, what will it be? It'll be if plane.raycast. And then what we would do is we would say camera.main, and I think it's screen point to ray, input.mouse position, input.mouse position. So this will create a ray at the input position. And then we'll say var, or we'll say out float enter. I think you can even do out var enter, can't you? Yeah, you can. Okay. So if that's true, then the target is going to be equal to but we need the ray anyway. So we'll say, I think it's ray.point or something. Say ray, we give it the ray. We'll say var target is equal to ray.point or get point at enter. And then the indicator is going to be equal to these two. Okay. So we know that this will always succeed. So yeah, we know that this raycast will always succeed because the plane is infinite. Or at least it should. But anyway, let's try this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now that's working perfectly. Okay. So yeah, basically what we want is we want the, what's it called? We want the sphere to be, actually, where's that appearing? That is appearing with a y value of 1, which is perfect. Yeah, we want the sphere to be a static sort of object. However, it does seem like the missile is not moving towards it. And I'm not sure why. But yeah, at least we know that this is working correctly, so the missile is just not aiming correctly. And it's the missile projectile component. So it passes target into the missile. Missile reads the target, perfect. It might be target minus transform dot position, actually. That might be correct. All right, let's see. Okay, it just doesn't turn fast enough to reach the target. That's fine. Sure, let's just say 90. Cool. Yeah, okay. Let's see if 90 is enough. Actually, now that I think about it, I think that the... Wait. No. The problem... Because I think even if we set this to be like 300, I think it's still too small, right? It's not really in degrees per second, it's in something else. Like it should be degrees per second, but I don't know that it actually is. Oh, okay, there we go. Actually, no. Okay. Yeah, I guess 300 is probably fine, so maybe 150? Maybe 180 is a decent one? Yeah, it should, yeah. Do that, and then once it gets really close to its target, it should explode or something. So we'll say if vector3 dot distance between transform dot position, and now the camera is screwed up once again. Do we need to do? Yes, we do. Okay. Problem is that we need to de-shift that back into normal color space. Yes. Whoop, no. So we gotta shift it that way. Really, it should be the other way. Alright. Might be close enough to find. Yeah, whatever. It's probably fine. Alright, this is target transform position vector 3 distance, right. So if the distance between us and the target is less than 0.1 f, we just do game object, or we just do a destroy on ourselves on game object, and I think we want to call like a function detected void explode or something like that. And in here we'll just do damage basically. So call that, we'll say explode, okay. And then we'll destroy ourselves, and then we return. So this explode will spawn an explosion effect, and then we just don't want to continue. And the camera, oh my god, the lighting in here. I normally stream during the day, so lighting is not an issue. And now that I'm streaming at night, there's really not a lot I can do with it. I guess I could get my phone. Okay, so this, whenever it gets close, it should destroy itself. Perfect. And yeah, it has a really long reload time. And it can get stuck in a loop like that, so we probably need like a minimum distance from the plane or something. But yeah. Okay. Okay. So what we need to do now is we need to make them alternate fire, basically. And so what we will do is say missile component. We'll actually use a list here. So with that, we need to say using, I think it's system.collections.generic, I think is where the list is. Say list of these, of missiles. We'll say public, actually, could create, we're not going to worry about it. Say protected int, and it'll be missile index. So this will be which missile launcher we're firing. And so we'll just swap to the next one basically each time we fire a missile. So say, well, we need to check if the missile is ready to fire because we don't always want to swap. So actually we'll need to return a bool from the fire method to see if it's successful. So in the missile weapon component, we will say bool. Here we return false because we didn't fire, and then here we return true because we did. And the same thing in machine gun. Probably want to just do the same thing. Want to return true when we do fire. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. And then return false when we don't. So in here, we'll say if missile.fire. Say, need to probably say var launcher is equal to missiles of, what is it, missile index? Yeah. Then we'll use launcher.fire. If the launcher does fire, then we will say missile index is equal to, I know there's a mathematical expression for this. It's equal to missile index, what is it, +1 rate, or no. Right, +1, and then you do modulus the count, I think. The missiles dot count -1, I think, is how you do it. And this should automatically loop the value for you. Something like this. Yeah. Okay. And that should automatically loop the value. So this should launch one, then the other. If I did that correctly. So what we need to do is we need to create 2 missile launchers, and we also need to make the missiles a little bit larger. So in prefabs, what we need to do is we need to go in here to increase the size of the model to be 0.04 by 0.04 and 0.08. And 0.1. Make the missiles fairly large, because they really are. Actually, no, 0.15. Yeah, very large. All right. And this is 0.04, 0.04, and then 0.15. Yeah. So that it fits. There we go. And then in the jet, we want to have a left missile launcher and a right missile launcher. I want to have a left missile launcher, left missile launcher, and then we want to duplicate that and make one on the right. We will call this the right missile launcher. There we go. And then in the jet, we need to add two missile launchers. So that goes in there. Oh, whoop, no. Put 0 and then, oops, lock the inspector, can grab these 2, put them in there. All right. And that's fine. Okay. So these should both be pointing to that. Yep, shots per second 1. Reload duration of 10. That can probably be bumped down to 5. Machine gun, the reload duration of 2 shots per second is like 20. And then the clip size is like 25, so you get 1.5 seconds of bullets. And I'll say 40. So you get 2 solid seconds of bullets. And now it should alternate. It did not. Why did it not? Okay, that works. Okay. So I think this is the missile index +1, count -1. Okay, actually maybe it just needs to be modulus the count. Because that would be 2, and then when 2, you'd actually, 2 mod 2 would be 0. Yeah. That might work. So we can fire twice, basically, is what I'm getting at. So yeah, there we go. Okay, I like that. That's kind of neat. Where do they fire from? Do they fire from the right? No, they don't. They don't fire from the right position at all. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, like a spray of bullets. Alright. Alright, so I like most of this. I am probably just going to have to turn the camera off at some point, because it is not, I don't like fixing it all the time. Alright, let's do that, let's do that. If I increase, it doesn't look good. No, that's going to break everything. That'll probably work for now. Alright. So what else do I need to do? So the next thing we need is enemies, right? We need enemies that fly around. Okay, yeah, I think we need that. So this is the player, basically. This is the player jet. And then this will also be the player jet. Player jet. And so if we have an enemy, basically all we need to do is we need to duplicate this. We can unpack this completely. And then we just say enemy, enemy. And then what we do is we remove the player controller, and then I think we can just keep this there. And now the sprite renderer, we just basically need to tint this red so that we can see that it's an enemy. Then, yeah, that might be a bit too red. That's probably red enough. All right. And then I think we can destroy that, or we can at least damage that. I don't think we can destroy it yet. But yeah, I think, oh, it didn't seem to take damage. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Right, because it doesn't have a collider. That would make sense. Alright, so it needs a collider of some kind. Probably a sphere collider? Ooh. Why? Why is the pivot way down there? Why is all of this? No, the Y should be 0 on the pivot. The Y there should be 0. Ooh, that's probably going to affect something. Alright, so this sphere collider is there, and I want the radius to be 0.3. We might need a better collider than this. We will definitely need a better collider than this. But for now, it will work. It's not on the X, it's on the Y. Yeah, that's roughly correct. Not really, but, you know, close enough. Now these are actually on the correct plane of existence. Okay. Sure. I don't know why, but sure. You need a sphere collider as well. That can be a trigger. And what, 0.3? No, 0.1? Really? Oh, okay. And then back just a little bit like that. Yeah, we'll get a better collider at some point. And this is the player jet. That is way too large. Why is that not that large here? Did I scale something here? No. Why is that so large there? You're not a child of anything. If I just drop you into existence, then what do we get? You are larger, but you are scaled down. Your model is scaled down. I see. That's the problem. All right. So in here, the model needs to be scaled down. Yes, that's the problem. Okay. 0.1. And then this can be a little further forward. All right, there we go. Now this is correct. Okay. And that still didn't do anything, seemingly. Well, that shows that it took damage. Okay. Right, so problem. Okay, but that's actually fine. I was going to say the problem is that the missile doesn't record. Doesn't exactly record when it hits something because it gets destroyed. Like, it doesn't hit things because it gets destroyed first, but that's fine because it'll deal explosive damage, so it won't matter. Yeah, okay. I like that. Maybe we need a couple effects, and we need like a tilt that we apply to it when it turns. And we also need shadows. Like, shadows would be really, really helpful. But other than that, I think it's actually pretty good. So yeah, what I will do is I will work on some of the basic, like the graphics and some of the effects and stuff offline. Probably gather some music and stuff like that. And after that, I will be back, I guess, tomorrow Yeah, tomorrow at the normal. Alright, because tomorrow is the politics stream. Right. I don't know. I'll be back tomorrow at some point. But yeah, I'm just gonna call it here because I need to get some food and I need to do a bunch of other things and also work on this. But anyway, thank you for watching. I will be back tomorrow at some point, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, thank you. See ya.